Welcome to True Crime and Wine Time. I'm Terry.
And I'm Lana.
Tonight, we are uncorking the truth behind one of the darkest crimes and breaking it down together with you.
One case, one conversation, and one or maybe two glasses of wine to take the edge off. It's time to get comfortable and double check those locks before we get started.
So let's take a sip and dive in.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I was flipping somebody off while the intro was playing.
Okay, was it me?
No, it's the person in the chat.
Oh. A certain, I don't know, elbow feet, maybe, perhaps?
Yes. But hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Lady in Gray. Hello, elbow feet. If we're tiny, then you're on the vertical instead of the horizontal stream. Remember, we have two now. So tiny.
You got to go on the one that doesn't have the little picture of the phone.
These are our miniature selves, actually. I cloned myself to be a miniature.
I haven't been told I was tiny in so long.
Hello, friends. You know what I just saw from that video? Like, look how much my hair has grown in like less than a year. I was like, oh, wow. Didn't even notice because their fan was blowing on it because it was summertime. I just should have a fan on me at all times so my hair does.
You should.
I'm just kidding. Well, hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I am so excited for tonight, but how about you remind them what they're supposed to be doing right now?
Let's see. I think you're supposed to be watching us. And before we begin, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so that way you never miss our insanity. Okay? Or when we drop surprise orders or we just randomly pop in.
Yeah, March. We're going to have a busy month of March. So you definitely want to make sure those notification bells are turned on. Because we're crazy. Anyway, and if you're listening to this as a pod, please download and leave a rating and review as it helps our little pod get noticed. If you're like, you hear us talking about visuals and pictures as we're telling story, guess what? We're showing that stuff on our YouTube channel as we're recording this right now. So you can always, if you're a visual person, as I am, when we show like maps and stuff, it's really nice and handy, I think, to really get into the case some more when you can see, you know, parts of it. So
it makes it all better. And guys, you can also become a member, which comes with all sorts of exclusive perks. I mean, we've got perks on perks on perks. Okay. So just click the join button and pick which tier works best for you. Guys, our lowest level is 99 cents.
That's right. You're on the horizontal one, just to let you know.
Hi.
You're on the normal one. Yes, becoming a member. Our member-only catalog is huge.
And it's growing.
Yes. So definitely want to do that. Now, tonight, you guys, we have a very special announcement. Well,
we do.
Tomorrow is actually Elbow Feet's birthday. So we want to give Mr. Llama, also known as Elbow Feet, a very happy birthday shout out. And you guys can wish him happy birthday all night long. It's 40. He's going to be 40 now. I turned 40 in September. He turns 40 now.
Shit. I didn't know I didn't know it was a big win.
Yes. Yes. He turned 42.
Elbow Feet, be on the lookout in the mail for some glitter. Anybody who turns 40 needs glitter.
Yep. We both turned the big 40. So make sure you tell him happy birthday today and tomorrow and all weekend. So
yeah, that is exciting.
Yes.
Do y'all have great fun plans for the weekend?
No, I don't know what plans are yet.
I mean, he's a guy.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we're doing something, if he has to work. Little Llama has us a musical this weekend. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are.
I mean,
but I'm just there for whatever.
when you know, got pregnant because
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
was in khakis, maybe y'all should lay low this weekend.
Also, Mom, if you're listening, I am not pregnant. Please
He
do
is
not
not.
message me yelling at me. Why did you
Yeah,
tell everyone you're pregnant and not me? And I'm
yeah.
like, why would I do that?
Why would she do
She did
that?
do that a
But let me
few
tell
weeks
you,
ago.
she could possibly she's been covering this crazy chick, Laura Owens, over on Couch Court Case
Mm,
Files, who gets pregnant when the winds blow.
yeah,
So, Llama, you could have gotten pregnant just by looking
I could. I
at
probably
this. I
did.
mean, Elbow Feet's pregnant.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works out. We went to the Laura Owens class and got a certificate on anatomy that she doesn't understand how that works. But anyway, again, a very happy birthday
Happy birthday.
to Mr. Llama slash Elbow Feet. We love him here. Now, Terry, why don't you tell us what we will be covering tonight?
So, tonight we'll be covering the case of Cassie Stoddart. She was an innocent teenager who was brutally murdered by two of her friends.
Do not like
It,
that.
it's
Do
gut
not.
wrenching.
Well, before we get into that, let's talk about what we're drinking. Hi, Savage. What are you drinking tonight,
I am
Terry?
drinking Forever Young Rosé again,
Oh,
balanced and juicy with light tannins. The wine pops with flavors of red fruit, white peaches, and citrus, and finishes clean with mineral notes of chalk and fresh acidity.
chalk? What is
It
that? Like
it
chalk?
does, but it's good. I don't know if I would describe it as chalk, but it has a little bit of after the tannins, you get a little bit of a like when you blow chalk in the dust, you just
Yeah.
kinda get a little.
Yeah. Whose favorite break from elementary school was taking and cleaning off the erasers in the room? Oh, it was the best when you got to pick up for that.
And because this case covers some friends, I decided to drink out of my best friend glass that says Terry and Cheryl. We each have one
Oh,
because real friends don't do what these guys did.
no. I was going to say, I wouldn't call these guys friends. Well, tonight I am drinking Stella Rosa Original Honey Peach. This is a refreshing semi-sweet wine with flavors of honey and peach. I know, crazy.
We
It was in the
both got
title.
peaches.
Look at me. I'm so ready to read tonight. Served chilled with fresh fruit, cheese, spicy cuisine, and dessert. And it's pretty good. It's, again, not a very high alcohol, but it's nice.
No, Terry.
No, it has like a bubbly, the Stella Rosa, this is the second bottle I've
Second.
tried.
Oh,
And it has kind of like the bubbles of like champagne, but just a little bit. And I like it.
Savage, honey, I'm going to need you to put down the matches, love. Okay? Please. Okay? Don't do that. Okay? We need you here and we don't want anyone to get hurt.
At least video and share it in the Discord. Okay, great. We're always looking for new content, Savage. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, with that, you guys, let's get into the story of tonight's case because it is a little bit of a long one.
It is.
But boy, it starts off just from the beginning.
Mhm.
So let's get into it. All right. So Cassie Jo Stoddart was born on December 21st, 1989. She had an older sister, Christy, and a younger brother, Andrew. She's so pretty.
She is beautiful.
Oh, so pretty. Cassie was especially close to Andrew, who was just 1 year behind her in school. He later shared that they were raised primarily by their grandparents and described Cassie as the headstrong sibling, someone he always looked up to. And then Christy, who was 7 years older than Cassie, was not as close to the younger two, which makes sense.
I was going to say,
I mean,
absolutely makes sense. Who wants to, hang out with the
right?
Sorry.
That's quite an age difference there.
That is.
So,
That is.
I'm sure she loves them just the same, but I, as a teenager, would not want to be hanging out with 7-year-olds.
Absolutely. Cassie was a typical teenager. She loved music and she was artistic, unlike me. And she especially loved to draw, unlike me. Friends said she got along with everyone and was always trying to make the people she loved laugh. Some described her as being quiet at first, but once she got to know her, she was anything but quiet. So
Yes.
she kind of reminds me of Monkey Butt in that way.
Mm.
Quiet at first, and then once she's comfortable, she's like me and won't shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm similar to that. Maybe not as much now, but definitely before. Now, 16 years old, Cassie was a junior at Pocatello High School in
Okay,
Pocatello,
how did you
Idaho.
just say that?
I said Pocatello. Is that not
You
right?
said
Probably not.
Pocatella. It's Pocatella.
Oh, like,
Pocatella, but you said
oh,
Pocket,
yeah.
and I was
Oh, did
like,
I?
"You did a me." I'm
Oh,
like,
no,
"That's my
no.
thing mispronouncing."
I figured it was Pocatello because when I was reading all this, I was like, Pocahontas, probably.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's how you say it, but
it's Pocatello.
well, I've also already read like a billion words earlier today. Hi, Spetty. Hi, welcome. Now, she was dating Matt Beckham, and they had been an exclusive couple for about 5 months. Very serious. Like many teenagers, they spent much of their time together. So young looking. Oh,
I
goodness. This
know, looks like
story is
baby.
so heartbreaking. Mm.
Matt was described as a regular teenager, much like Cassie. The two enjoyed typical high school activities, spending time with friends, watching movies, listening to music. Cassie's family cared for Matt and believed the two made a sweet couple. Both Cassie and Matt were said to be responsible and level headed teenagers, which does not always a thing.
Like, what does that even mean, though?
I mean, you'll find out why they were responsible.
Now, on September 22nd, 2006, Cassie went to school like she did every other day. The only difference was that she brought an overnight bag with her. After school, she was heading to her aunt and uncle's home on Whispering Cliffs Drives to house sit and care for their pets while they were out of town for the weekend, which is a big deal for a 16-year-old, you know?
Responsible.
Yeah, I guess, right? There's that responsibleness.
Cassie had permission for her boyfriend Matt to come over and spend time with her and watch television, hang out. Her family trusted both of them. The plan was for Matt to stop by each day, hang out, but they weren't worried about Cassie. They were comfortable with her staying in the home on her own. I just all of a sudden had a vision of myself when I house sat at 16, and that
Oh,
was playing through my head, and I totally couldn't read because I was like, "Oh, I know what I was doing."
not responsible or level-headed?
No, it was not.
Now, Cassie arrived at her aunt and uncle's home on Whispering Cliffs Drive, settled in, spent some time with the pets, and called Matt to finalize their plans for the evening. It was meant to be a simple night, just watching movies together while she house sat, and that's a really cute home.
Isn't it
Oh, I like
adorable?
that. Mhm.
I think it's adorable.
I think I know I look like a vampire now.
Matt arrived around 6:30, to spend the evening with his girl, hang out. Now, some reports say that Matt invited Brian and Tori over without Cassie knowing. But then there's others that say Cassie knew they were coming and that they were told there were going to be a party at the house, even though there wasn't going to be.
Right? Oh, I hate their stupid faces. Don't worry, you guys will too.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, Torey and Brian had initially declined the invitation. It was only after Matt told them there was a party that they agreed to come over, a detail that at the time may have sounded like typical teenage behavior. Though I kind of wonder about this considering what we know they did all this planning,
Uh-huh.
premeditation. I don't really think that that's entirely accurate.
Well,
I'm
because
curious.
we don't know when they got invited to
Okay.
go over, because Cassie, I found, so she had known for like since Monday that she was going to be doing it.
Okay. So this
So,
wasn't
right.
random. Okay.
So it
I
wasn't
see.
totally random.
Gotcha.
Cassie, being kind and welcoming, she showed Tori and Brian around the house when they arrived. She walked them through the bedrooms, the kitchen, the basement, all while keeping an eye on things and making sure nothing was damaged, because Brian was known to be a little wild at times. He was like that young teenager that like, oh, let's knock that on the floor. Oh, I want to play with this kind of thing. And she was responsible. Even in someone else's home, she took the role of house sitter very serious.
Oh, there's that responsible level-headedness again. You're right. Now, after the tour, the group settled into the living room to watch Kill Bill 2. Torey and Brian didn't seem very interested in that movie, so immediately go to jail. Send them to jail right now. Nothing even happens. Go to jail.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. I love the Kill Bills. Anyway, they thought, and especially for two guys who are all like, oh, we're all about writing scripts and movies. Blah, blah. And you didn't seem interested in Kill Bill 2? Okay. Anyway, they thought they were going to a party, not a quiet movie night with a couple.
I mean, who wants to sit there and watch your friends make out and cuddle on the couch? I mean, come on. Right. You know, at one point, Brian left the room saying he was going to the bathroom or the kitchen for a snack, but he was gone long enough that Cassie went to check on him and brought him back to the living room. Then after about an hour, Brian and Torey said, we're done, we're leaving, telling Cassie and Matt they were going to head to a movie theater to see a film instead.
To see a film over Kill Bill. Exactly, Lady in Gray. Hate them already.
Kill Bill 2 is Tarantino?
Yes, so is the first one.
I've never seen the first one either.
All right, so yeah, I know you're going to be out for a while again. I'm going to write stuff down that you need to watch. Okay. You remember how awesome Game of Thrones was when you finally succumbed?
Yeah, that's what happens when you take drugs and watch TV shows that Mama tells you to watch. You get hooked.
That's right. I'm going to give you a whole list. Hi, Lainey.
Hi. You can give me a whole list. Please put it together. And if you're in the Discord,
Terry's bad.
In the Discord, drop me movies to see.
Yes, we'll keep her busy. Now, Cassie and Matt walk the boys out, then return to the couch, settling back in together to continue the movie. You know, just settling in and having a quiet night. Just the two of them. I mean, it's cute. It's cute.
Lady in Gray. Llama and Terry are always right. Okay, not just Llama.
It's me.
Double H just texted me and he goes, you have seen Kill Bill. You probably just don't remember it. Okay, so I have seen Kill Bill.
You don't remember, you got to watch it again.
So, I don't remember names of movies, but I remember the movie. Like if I start watching, I'm like, oh shit, I've seen this. And I can tell you the whole storyline.
Oh.
So that's no, Libras are not always right.
Betty's having dental surgery tomorrow. I need some recommendations. May I suggest our Laura Owen saga to you first and foremost? Yes. Yes, everybody put your favorite stuff to watch in the chat. We'll talk to real movie buffs and not these two teenage douche nozzles.
Yeah. About 15 to 20 minutes after they finally resumed watching, because they went and took the dog out, got snacks and things, the power in the house suddenly went out. The couple assumed it was just a brief outage and expected it to come back on. And it did. So they felt relieved. But that relief didn't last long. The power shut off again shortly after it returned.
I do not like this. I do not like this at all. Wanting to make sure everything was okay, Matt got up to check the house and see what might be causing the issue. As he moved to investigate, Cassie's aunt and uncle's dogs began barking and growling at the top of the stairs that led down to the basement. Hearing that, Matt decided he didn't want to leave Cassie alone in the living room, so he returned to the couch and the two of them stayed seated together. This is the point where Llama leaves the house. All right? My dogs start acting weird, I'm out. Okay? No.
But how sweet of a teenage boy. Instead of trying to be all manly and go check things out, he went and sat back down with his sweet girl.
I mean, it probably weirded him out too. There's been times where I've been like, Elbow Feet and I have been in our bedroom and I'll be like, I thought I heard something. He's like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? And then he grabs like some rando thing, like a hanger or something. Like, what are you going to do with that? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, fall in front of them so I can get out quicker. Thanks.
Oh, sweet precious.
Oh,
Feeling uneasy after the power outages, Matt called his mom and asked if he could stay the night with Cassie. The darkness and the strange interruptions had rattled her, and he didn't want to leave her alone. His mom, being a responsible parent, told him no, and also because she had a surprise for him. I mean, guys, they were 16 in a relationship. She wasn't going to let him spend the night. I mean, no.
or at least I mean, maybe even if you believe your kids at that point that is happening, I would still be like,
I mean,
likely story.
I will tell you they were having sex because we'll get
Well,
to
yeah,
it later. One of the boys' moms is they were
um,
16 and in love, but they
right.
used protection. It was found in the toilet.
Responsible and
So they
level-headed. So, but his mom did offer another solution. Cassie was welcome to come stay at their house since the power was out at her aunt and uncle's home, but Cassie declined. She felt a responsibility to remain there. She was house sitting, caring for the pets, and she intended to follow through on that commitment. So, see, the mom isn't a wicked
she's not.
mother.
She's not.
There's adults there. So, okay.
And look how responsible she was being.
Mhm.
Just before 10:30 p.m., Matt's mom arrived to pick him up. The power came back on briefly, but then went out again. Matt figured the power would be back on again shortly since it kept going off and on, and he wasn't overly worried or concerned, unlike Llama would be. When his mom picked him up, his dad was also in the car with her, which was the surprise. She had mentioned, because guys, his dad had been away in rehab and he was not expected to be back home yet. So it was, a surprise.
An interesting surprise, but okay.
Hmm.
Now, after his mom picked him up, Matt then called Torey to see where he was and whether they could meet up. Torey answered in a whisper, saying he was in a movie that was not as good as Kill Bill 2 and would call him the next day. Matt had no way of knowing, though, that his call to Torey would set events into motion that would forever change all of their lives. Oh boy, here we go, guys.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Savage, why do we need to fix elbow feet spanner? What's wrong with it?
No, they're just
Okay.
they're
I'm
just
like,
different.
what is wrong with it? Brian Draper was born in 1990 and was adopted at birth by Pam and Carrie Draper. The Draper family, which included Pam, Carrie, Brian, and his sister Tiffany, not a horse.
Oh, elbow feet. That's because I misspelled elbow feet.
Oh,
Elbow
that's why.
feet. I am drinking out of my Storm Trooper. I didn't
Yeah.
pick the Boba Fett one.
Yeah. But the Drapers initially lived in Utah before moving to Pocatello, Idaho, when Brian was just a wee 12 years old.
Oh, wow. By the way, I didn't know which one was which, like their
Uh-huh.
names matching with their faces. That is not who I thought. I thought Brian was the other one.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Look at the eyes.
I know. I see it more now. I'm like, oh, okay. Actually, duh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Amos says her too. She thought it was the other way around. So interesting. Okay. Well, all right. So Brian was raised in a typical Mormon household. There have been reports that Brian was known to be a troubled, and that he maintained a MySpace page where he posted about suicide and murder, along with expressing a fascination with the Columbine shooters. How original, Brian. Oh my gosh, you're such an edgelord. Although he grew up in a sheltered environment, Brian said he spent a great deal of time alone, stating that his mother was often busy and his father was not around. He learned he had been adopted when he was 10 years old, just 2 years before the family relocated to Idaho.
And what's interesting, you'll hear later, he talks about his father was not around. His father traveled out of state to work to be able to afford for them to live in this nice bougie place.
What an asshole.
Yeah, how dare he be a responsible adult? Brian and Torey shared a strong interest in movies, especially horror films. Inspired by that interest, the two teenagers decided it would be cool to write their own screenplay. They settled on the idea of a horror story centered around two teenage killers.
Oh my gosh, a story like that has never been written in the history of ever. What fucking geniuses they are. Oh my goodness.
Elbow feet.
Wow.
You are so freaking adorable.
That's funny. That is funny. This guy sucks, so it's fine.
He sucks. That's why I'm like so okay with it.
Yeah. I know he was a kid, but guess what? He still sucks.
Just wait, people.
Brian was already known for carrying a video camera with him and filming nearly everything. He recorded himself and Torey driving around, talking about everyday teenage topics, along with conversations that were far more disturbing. On camera, they discussed their fascination with the perpetrators of the Columbine massacre and their admiration for characters Billy Loomis and what is it, Macher? Yeah, Mocker. No, I think it's Mocker. From the original Scream movie. Buffy's going to yell at me any minute. They also talked about what it would be like to commit a school shooting and even made initial plans, all while recording themselves. So these two bozos are the least creative people on the planet, basically. So you're not even that creative or special, but sure.
And I know Buffy is not able to be with us tonight, but that's Buffy, true. This is all for you, baby. All
that's true.
For you.
This case was brought to us by Buffy. We finally got to be able to do it. So they're also dumb.
They are dumb. They are dumb. Oh, just wait till you see how dumb. Let's return to the night of September 22nd, 2006. After Matt left, Cassie began getting ready to settle in for the night. Not long after, the power went out again. Earlier in the evening, it had flickered off and on, coming back on and off. So she reasonably assumed it would do the same thing. Instead of searching the house or going down to the basement, she decided, you know what, I'm just going to lay down on the couch and wait.
That's what I would do. I either do that or leave. I ain't going to go check it out.
And based on what had already happened, she did the logical thing and did not panic.
Right, I would. But I scare myself walking to the kitchen to my bedroom, which is like 15 feet away from each other. So it doesn't take much. Now, what Cassie did not know, though, was that during the house tour she had kindly given them, Brian and Torey had unlocked the basement door.
This is where it gets rough. After leaving earlier that evening, Brian and Torey returned to the house. Before coming back inside, they had changed clothes, armed themselves with the knives they had purchased, along with masks.
I know. Sorry, Lady in Gray. There's Mask. They made noise in the basement, hoping it would draw Cassie downstairs. When she did not come down, they went upstairs instead. They found Cassie lying on the couch, and there they attacked her, stabbing her 30 times. 30 times. Told you, they're douche canoes.
Yeah. You're right, there might be a mouse.
No. We annihilated them all.
The next day on Saturday, September 23rd, 2006, Matt tried to reach Cassie, but was unable to get her on the phone. Throughout the day, no one spoke with her. Her family wasn't expecting to hear from her while she was house sitting, and Matt kind of just assumed she was simply busy.
I mean, also remember, it's 2006, all right? While cell phones are a thing, being this age and having a cell phone was not as common then for kids as it is now. Yeah. Like, I only got a phone because I had a job to pay my own phone bill. And that was like my senior year of school or something like that. So to not hear from somebody isn't really like a big deal in this time frame, you know? So
I mean, back in my day, honey, we had pagers.
Right? Now, he spent time hanging out with Torey. That's right. That next day, Matt hangs out with Torey, believing that everything was normal. He then had reached out to Cassie's mom, who had not spoken with her either, who then tried to call her daughter several times, but was also unable to reach her. Still, no immediate alarms were raised. I mean, they may not have had call waiting or an answering machine. If you don't know what we're talking about, then just trust me, this is all normal and fine. Okay.
It's a thing.
And it's the smallest town in Idaho,
Yeah.
so.
On Sunday, September 24th, Cassie's aunt, uncle, and her 13-year-old cousin, Allison, returned home. Allison rushed ahead and was the first to walk inside. What she encountered was something no child or human should ever have to witness.
Yeah, lying on the living room floor was her 16-year-old cousin, Cassie, deceased. In a panic, Cassie's aunt called 911, reporting that her niece, who had been house sitting, was on the floor and dead.
The nightmare for Cassie's family and friends had just begun. And what happened that weekend would ripple outward, touching Matt and his family and shaking the entire community.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness. Now, police began securing the house and processing the scene. At the same time, an officer was sent to Cassie's home to deliver the devastating news to her mother and family. Oof, that's tough.
So Cassie's mother, Anne, told investigators she did not know of anyone who would want to hurt her daughter. She did share that Cassie's boyfriend had planned to spend the night with her spend time with her while she was house sitting. And did call Matt and scream at him, "What did you fucking do to my daughter?"
Oh, bet. Bet. I mean, also, listen.
No shame.
It usually is the significant other. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine the emotions that she's feeling already, So I would do the same, Anne. No judgment from me. Yeah, called her friends and did it, and a little girl found her. What a bunch of macho guys.
I'm going to be using friends, my little quotes like I do for asshat and POS, because those are not friends.
Right? No. All right. So, as is often the case in investigations, police initially focused on the person closest to the victims. Police went to Matt's home to inform him about Cassie and to ask when he had last seen and spoken with her. This kid is lucky as shit, is all I have to say.
He is.
Oh my goodness.
Matt was upfront and cooperative. He told investigators that the last time he saw Cassie was Friday night when his mom picked him up from her aunt and uncle's house. He explained that he tried to call her on Saturday, but had been unable to reach her. Guys, he didn't have his own car. It's not like he could just jump in his car and run over there. So don't even start that game, people.
Right? They're just kids still in the early aughts. Now, the first officer who spoke with Matt felt his reaction was not what he expected from a grieving boyfriend and began to view him as a possible person of interest. I'm sure it's totally normal responses when a 16-year-old finds out that their girlfriend or significant other was brutally murdered at a house they were just at.
And he left her there, didn't force her to come with him. I mean,
like, what are you expecting?
What this guy...
You can't even really process that. You know what I mean? Now, Matt was brought in for a formal interview regarding the murder of his girlfriend, Cassie Stoddart.
During questioning, Matt walked investigators through the events of Friday night. He explained that he had arrived at the house. He got there first, and that later their friends Brian Draper and Torey Adamcik came over and watched part of a movie before leaving. He described the repeated power outages, told the police that the dogs had been growling and barking towards the basement stairs. Matt also shared that he had wanted to stay with Cassie because she was nervous about the power issues, but he wasn't able to. His mom picked him up. He went home. He then detailed his activities on Saturday and confirmed that he had tried to call Cassie, but he was never able to reach her. God, that just kills me.
I know.
Fuck.
Right,
Oh,
Elfie? Is his brain is far from fully formed. I mean, I dropped that bombs a lot. It's fine. You had a llama moment. It's fine. Police asked Matt to take a polygraph test, and he agreed and passed. With the test results, confirmation from his mother about picking him up Friday night, and his phone records supporting his account, investigators shifted their focus to other potential suspects.
Matt, you got lucky that things worked out well. Never, ever take a polygraph test. Okay.
They're
And
stupid,
always
though.
have an attorney. You got lucky that you weren't in Chicago or over there in Massachusetts.
And that Torey and
Yeah.
whatever his name is, I don't remember their stupid Brian, that they were idiots.
Yeah.
So, because if they weren't, I do think that Matt would they would have put a lot of pressure on that kid.
Oh, yeah.
You
At
know,
one point, Cassie's mom's boyfriend also became a person of interest after his fingerprints were found at the house.
Mm.
However, he was later cleared when it was established that his fingerprints were there because he had previously worked on the electrical in the home because he was an electrician.
Well, that
He
makes
got
sense.
lucky too.
He did, right?
And just so you
Now,
know, your headlines that you've added gave me a Cap'n moment.
oh really?
I felt a little bit of Cap'n love.
I know. I'm not good at labeling the slides, but I love labeling all the headers. So that's the closest I get to bringing her spirit into our shows. Now, during Matt's interrogation, he answered questions about Brian and Torey. He told investigators that he was closer friends with Torey than with Brian. He explained that Cassie was also friends with them, but not really especially close. Matt also shared that before he and Cassie became a couple, both Brian and Torey had shown some interest in her. I mean, that's just teenagers. They will literally be interested in anything most of the time. Let's be honest.
I mean, they would like the wind when it blows a certain way. Torey had first been questioned at his home on September 24th, 2006, with his father, Sean, present. Detective Thomas Ngansky conducted that interview. Torey told them that he and Brian had gone to Cassie's aunt and uncle's house on Friday, September 22nd, because they thought they were going to a party.
Mm. He said that after watching part of a movie and realizing there was no party, they decided to return to Pocatello to see a movie. And I'm sure it's better than Kill Bill 2, right? Let's find out what they went and saw. Torey stated that they watched Pulse. Really? Really? Is that better than Kill Bill 2? I do not think so. However, when detectives asked him about the movie he had supposedly just seen 2 days earlier, he was unable to provide details. He then told officers that after the movie, he and Brian went back to his house where Brian spent the night.
Brian Draper was also questioned that evening. Although his initial interview was not recorded, during questioning, Brian told police that after he and Torey left Cassie's aunt and uncle's house, they went to the movies. He said the film they had originally planned to see had already started by the time they arrived in town, so they chose to watch Pulse instead. Despite describing himself as a big movie buff,
Okay, Brian.
Brian, too, was unable to provide officers with the plot or any meaningful details about the movie.
Listen, I've never seen Pulse, but by looking it up, it may, in fairness to them, it may not have had much of a plot or meaningful details. But still, you should at least, if you're a movie buff and even if you watch a shitty movie, you are going to love talking shit about that movie.
No, you're going to find out where they really were.
Right. Losers.
Or so where they say they really were.
Do your research. So, Okay, yes. Like Torey, Brian stated that they had purchased their tickets with cash. He also added that a girl from school named Heather had been working at the theater that night and that they had spoken with her while they were there. Oh, how convenient.
Police then brought Brian and Torey in for formal questioning. On September 25th, both 16-year-olds were taken to the police station with their parents present during the initial interviews. Brian and Torey's accounts were pretty similar, including the fact that neither of them could tell anything about the movie that they supposedly saw.
Now, on Tuesday, September 26, 2006, Brian was brought in for another interview. His parents accompanied him to the station, but they were not present in the interview room. Brian was read his Miranda rights, which is not good, Bri, and agreed to speak with officers without an attorney. Such a little genius, aren't they? So smart.
Well, their parents didn't do much better. He initially repeated the same account, stating that he and Torey had gone to hang out with Matt and Cassie, became bored, and then went to see the late showing of Paul's. When an officer told Brian he did not believe that story, Brian quickly changed his version of events.
Oh, wow. What a plot twist. This is like M. Night Shyamalan over here.
He said that he and Torey had changed into dark clothing, put on gloves, and gone out to burglarize cars.
Right. Because that's better. You couldn't even said you were like making out and banging something. You're like, nope, we were definitely committing felony crimes.
It gets better. Brian said they didn't find anything of value, so they didn't steal anything.
Oh, so it's not illegal, right?
And no, he said, well, we only said we went to a movie to cover up what we were really doing.
Bravo, Brian. Bravo. Or wait, that's Torey. I'm sorry. Bravo, Torey. Bravo. No,
that's Brian.
No, that's Brian's claim. I'm sorry. I get them all mixed up because now that I know what they look like, it switches me up. Right? Oh, my gosh. Now, when officers asked what part of town they had been in while going through cars, Brian said he did not remember. Oh, my goodness. Detectives again told him they did not believe his story. Brian insisted he was telling the truth. He was not arrested that day and left with his parents after agreeing to take a polygraph test the following day. Also, remember, he was an inspiring screenwriter. And he can't even come up with anything.
Exactly. Later that same day, a detective went to the Draper residence. With consent from Brian and his parents, the detective searched Brian's bedroom for potential evidence connected to the crime scene, including gloves. During the search, officers found a knife sheath, but no knife. And when they questioned Brian about it, he said it belonged to a friend and claimed the friend likely had the knife that went with it. Okay. Sure.
God, Brian's an idiot. These are criminal masterminds.
See, Pam, they do need to tune in more to TWCT to learn. No, I'm glad they got caught. They were stupid and they deserved it.
Absolutely.
I've seen the Italian Job Lady in Gray so many times. We own it.
Now, on Wednesday, September 27th, my birthday, Brian returned for a third interview. It was expected that he would take the polygraph test he had agreed to the day before. Before the test began, Brian and his parents asked for privacy, and officers allowed them time alone.
When they came back into the interview room, Brian's parents appeared visibly upset. Brian was read his rights again and agreed to answer questions. Both of his parents remained present for this interview.
Elofeet, did the cops overpay buying a used polygraph machine and they needed to justify its existence? I think so. So many polygraphs happening. Like, what is happening?
They're a small town. They got to get their money's worth.
Right. Now, Brian told officers that he and Torey had unlocked a door at Cassie's aunt and uncle's house during the earlier visit so they could return later and scare Cassie and Matt. He said they came back wearing black clothes, mask, and gloves, and that they were both carrying knives.
Okay, my first thought is, if you're going to scare somebody, why do you need knives?
Well,
I mean,
it has
I'm
to
just
be
asking.
authentic. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
They're idiots.
Brian stated that after Matt left, he and Torey went upstairs. He then claimed that Torey attacked and stabbed Cassie. Brian said he initially thought Torey and Cassie were just trying to scare him, and that he was shocked when he realized Torey was actually stabbing her.
Sure, Brian. Sure. He insisted that he never touched or stabbed Cassie that night. Brian also told investigators that he was afraid of Torey, saying that earlier that same day, before coming to the station with his parents, Torey had threatened to kill him if he told anyone the truth. Brian maintained that he was being honest, finally. Way to go, Brian. Bravo. And offered to take officers to the location where he and Torey had disposed of items from the night of September 22nd, 2006.
I am sorry, Betty, I am glad you're getting sedated for your dental surgery.
Yeah.
As somebody who just went through dental stuff, yes. And you know what? If you're going in the morning and you have AirPods or headphones, Llama will be on reading more of Laura Owen shenanigans. It helps with dental surgery and sedation. Just telling you.
4 out of 5 dental patients recommend it.
That's right. There are aspects of the interrogations that deserve discussion. Okay. And to be clear, this is not about defending Brian or Torey.
No, fuck those guys.
Fuck them. It's about laying out what happened and examining how it unfolded.
The day Torey was arrested, he told detectives that he wanted an attorney and did not wish to speak without one present. Oh, finally. His father, Sean, asked if he could speak privately with his son. Officers agreed, and they were taken to a room that was not being recorded. Now, after that conversation, they returned to the interrogation room, believing the interview was over because Torey had invoked his right to an attorney. I don't know why. Why you would think that.
However, the recording continued and detectives kept talking. They explained why Torey was being charged and told him, "It'll eat you up. It'll only get worse, my friend. It will eat you up." Now, Sean repeatedly stated that he believed they needed an attorney. Detectives continued pressing, telling Torey that they knew he was involved and that someone else had already implicated him. Sean then told his son if any of this was true, he needed an attorney. Torey responded yes, agreeing that he needed an attorney, not that he was guilty, but that he needed an attorney. Detectives later characterized that yes as an agreement that their statements were all correct instead of a renewed request for counsel. Because everything said during that exchange was abso-freaking-lutely used against him.
That's right. They can and will use it against you. It's in the whole saying. There's no or, might, nope, and will. Now, there are legitimate questions about how that interaction was handled. Based on available records, there are concerns about how the situation was presented and how statements were interpreted. Reviewing the full interrogation footage would provide clearer context, but one, we don't have that. But we will be revisiting this in the future here in the story. So put a pin on that.
Yeah. Torey was not aware that Brian was back at the police station. After speaking with investigators, Brian, accompanied by his father and officers, led them to Black Rock Canyon, There, he showed them where the items from the night of September 22nd had been buried.
And Lady in Gray asked, how long did it take Torey to say Brian did it? It was what, like a whole, or the other way around. Brian
It was
said
the
Torey
other
did
way
it,
around.
like a whole 2 days.
Yeah, it'll take. We'll get to Torey's, but yeah, Torey doesn't speak as much as Brian.
Yeah.
Torey's mother does the talking.
Now, officers recovered a number of items from the sites. Oh, shit. Look at that knife. Oh, my God.
And look at that
That's
mask.
horrifying. Oh, that's horrifying. These stupid idiots. And they found 2 dagger-style knives with sheaths, a silver and black-handled knife with a smooth blade, and a folding survival-style knife that had a smooth blade with a serrated edge at the tip. They also found a Sony videotape, a box of matches, a melted bottle of peroxide, partially burned notebook paper, a singed multicolor mask, a red and white mask that's in the picture there. That's horrifying. 1 black glove, a pair of Puma gloves, a pair of blue latex gloves, a pair of fingerless workout gloves, a black Calvin Klein shirt, a black Hagar shirt, a white and gray sock, and a piece of black cord. So not only were they just bad at this, they're also bad at setting things on fire. So,
okay,
good job.
They had peroxide that was about a smidge in the bottle, and they thought that was going to be enough to catch that on fire.
Idiots.
Yeah. Brian was arrested and taken to the Bannock County jail. After securing him and recovering the items that had been burned and buried, officers turned their attention to locating Torey.
Now, Torey had not gone to school that day. I imagine not. Either way, I probably wouldn't be going to school either. Yeah. Detectives went to his father, Sean's workplace, and asked that Torey be brought to the station. Sean agreed, but only after keeping a previously scheduled meeting with a law firm that had been referred to him through Prepaid Legal.
Yeah. Sean met his wife, Shannon, and Torey at the attorney's office. They paid for a consultation, but did not formally retain the firm at that time, as they were waiting for the other attorney who had been recommended, who would be there the next day. The attorneys did advise them not to speak with police and told Torey that if he did, he should request a public defender. They even went so far as suggested which public defender they believed was the best.
Right? Keep your mouth shut. I know the mask is horrific. That's the last thing she saw. It's just awful. Yeah. These 2 asshats. Now, despite that advice, when detectives called and instructed them to come to the station, Sean and Shannon brought Torey in. Now, at this point, they did not know that Brian had already implicated Torey and led investigators to buried evidence. Torey was arrested and did not return home with his parents. So, that's not great for them.
It's not. Brian was later questioned for a 4th time. He was read his Miranda rights again and agreed to speak, even though his parents were not present. Officers told him they were unable to reach them. Brian stated he would answer questions anyway. He initially maintained the previous version of events, insisting that he had not touched or stabbed Cassie and that Torey alone had attacked her.
After confirmed questioning, Brian changed his account. He admitted that he had stabbed Cassie several times in the legs and chest because Corey told him he needed to stab her as well. Brian said Torey told him that stabbing her was not enough and that they needed to kill her. What a freaking hero he is. I'm not as bad as the other guy.
I'm not the other guy did it all. I was just there. At that point, Brian stopped the interview and asked to see his parents. Because he was a minor and he had the right to request a parent or an attorney, the interview was terminated.
Yeah, Brian, Draper, and Torey, I can't say the last name.
Adamcik.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Brian and Torey were charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in the killing of Cassie Stoddart. And Elbow Feet, if you're listening, can you please come let somebody outside? Thanks.
Now, it might seem like this is where the story begins to wrap up, but it wasn't. Investigators still had an extensive amount of work ahead of them. Building a case strong enough to secure a conviction would require thorough evidence review, forensic analysis, and careful preparation. Because Cassie deserved nothing less than a complete and relentless pursuit of the truth.
That they did. Or that she does. As questioning continued, both Brian and Torey began shifting responsibility onto the other, as usually that's how it goes, each attempting to minimize his own role. Brian described Torey as the primary perpetrator. Torey, in turn, claimed Brian was the most responsible for the murders and the stabbings and all the really horrific stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what followed was a back and forth of blame, each trying to distance himself from what had been done to Cassie.
About 3 months after Brian was arrested, his parents gave an interview, and we have a clip along with a clip of a phone call between Brian and his mother. So let's listen to this, because I haven't heard it yet.
Brian didn't want us to know how much pain he was in. And he kept that very, very separate from our life with him and the family's life with him. He just didn't want us to know how much pain he was in.
That's the thing that kept us up at night the most for the longest amount of time, is trying to remember something that we missed. We adopted Brian at birth. When I think about our relationship and how strong of a relationship we had with Brian and how good of a relationship we had with Brian, if you walked into our house back then, we were normal. And why we didn't recognize that we had such a problem is horrific and something we still cannot bear.
I mean, that has to be tough. Oh.
Hello. This call is subject to monitoring and recording.
I just wish you would have talked to me about this before, because if you had told me anything.
I told you that I wanted counseling again.
Tell me what, honey?
I told you that I wanted counseling.
You did?
Yeah. Don't you remember that?
No.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure that was a real conversation. Wow.
Yeah. So the crime lab was able to recover part of the burned notebook paper found with the buried items. The partially destroyed note read.
I read, Brian is gonna to kill Cassie home alone. Stop, runs into Torey. We murder Cassie is home alone. House. Brian kills his on the back porch, his body on the back porch. House Brian has, and we will kill her, killing Matt. Oh, just, you guys, maybe if they only would have gotten some therapy.
They were going to kill Matt too.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so lucky.
earlier, I mean, he was lucky that the cops didn't just hone in on him, but he was also very lucky because they very clearly were train time. It's an hour late.
Yeah.
Very clearly were planning on it, doing it twice. But you know what? I think they chickened out to be quite honest, because going up against Cassie,
Nope.
they probably were like, oh, we're confident in that.
You'll hear what the plan was, and Matt did not participate. Yeah, you'll have to. Yeah, you'll hear.
Okay.
The wording was fragmented and difficult to follow, but it clearly reflected violent intent. Detectives believe the note suggested not only plans involving Cassie, but also the possibility that Matt would have been killed as well. And I think we share it later. So remember when Matt said he went and got back on the couch and decided not to go downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to get Matt to come downstairs. So they.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot some stuff
I think
happened.
it's in there. Yeah. I've read so much now and gone down so many rabbit holes.
I get it. I get it. Now, investigators then turned their attention to the Sony videotape recovered from Black Rock Canyon. Initially, it appeared blank, but after restoration, however, detectives sat down to review it, unaware that they were about to watch what amounted to the recorded inner thoughts of two deeply disturbed teenagers. Brian and Torey had talked about writing a screenplay and had filmed themselves frequently. What was on that tape would become critical evidence. And in this clip, we hear Brian and Torey wanting to be famous.
They were sick psychopaths that get pleasure of killing other people.
That sounds good, baby.
We're gonna go down in history. We're gonna be just like Scream, except real life terms.
Okay, first of all, Brian, I just seen a therapy. I didn't do anything wrong. You sounded way more excited than him. So, I have not listened to these tapes because I wanted to save it.
Oh, just
for
wait. That's
the show.
nothing.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
How original these two.
Detectives saw on that restored tape was chilling. It was not just that Brian and Torey had planned to murder Cassie. It was that they had planned it and filmed it themselves talking about it. The recordings took place at school, also in the car, and at one point they even expressed concern that a teacher might see them because they were recording in class. On the tape, they say, "I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had to be the one."
I hate these guys. Officers were forced to sit through the footage, documenting every word and every detail. And as the video continued, it became clear that it only grew more disturbing.
On September 22nd at 9:53 p.m., after leaving Matt and Cassie's at the house, Brian and Torey recorded another video. Sitting in the car, they spoke about what they described as the unfortunate task of killing their two friends. And I think we have video of that clip. Okay, maybe we're playing it later.
Oh, later. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. They talked about knowing there were multiple doors and mentioned that they had unlocked one. They said they were nervous. In the same recording, they casually discussed the band they were listening to. Thank goodness they cleared it up. I bet it was something shitty, knowing these two. Said they had waited a long time for this and told viewers to stay tuned. Don't you worry. We will be playing all of this footage for you later in the show. What a bunch of idiots.
For investigators, hearing those words in their own voices left no question what happened to Cassie was not impulsive. It had been talked about, anticipated, and recorded.
I mean, I think they're both garbage. I just want that out there. I think they're both equally horrible. To have all this preparation for however long, recording yourself, writing, they're both garbage.
Oh, both feet. You will find out what band you will hear later, dear.
The chat needs to know, what shitty band is it? It better be a
It's
shitty
not a
one.
shitty band.
Oh, man. What investigators later learned is that Brian and Torey, upon returning to the house, they attempted to lure Matt and Cassie downstairs by making noise in the basement and manipulating the power, but it did not work.
Yeah. Then they heard Matt leave. Shortly after, Matt called Torey. If you remember, Toy whispered that he was in a movie and would call him later. That was not true. He was not in a theater, guys. He was in the basement with Brian, waiting for Cassie to be alone.
Now, when Cassie did not go downstairs, Brian and Torey went upstairs into the living room where she was lying on the couch. Wearing Halloween masks, they were unrecognizable to her, which is just so awful.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's better she didn't actually see and know who
Better
it was.
that she didn't know it was those.
I don't know.
friends.
They're both awful choices. I
They
don't know.
are.
I don't know which one would be worse. Anyway, Cassie jumped up and asked who they were. She told them she was going to kick their asses. I love that. I love that.
I love that they even admitted that. Brian and Torey were armed with knives. They attacked her, knocking her to the ground, and continued stabbing her.
After the attack, they left the house and got into Torey's car, driving back to Torey's home. Before leaving the area, they filmed themselves again because, of course, they did.
Yeah. Once at Torey's house, they went into the garage, retrieved a garbage bag, and placed their clothes, the knives, the tapes, and other items inside.
They then drove to the Black Rock Canyon area to dispose of the evidence. The items remained buried there until Brian later led police to the site. I mean, I'm not going to say their disposal was great, but I'm surprised that they were able to think that through,
Yeah.
to be quite honest. I'm a little surprised, but they were still really dumb about it.
They were still really dumb about it.
So.
Initially, Brian and Torey were scheduled to be tried together. Their defense attorneys requested separate trials due to potential conflicts in strategy, especially since each was planning to blame the other. You know.
Ooh, boy, Torey, that face is not working for you, bro.
Yeah. In January of 2007, the judge granted the motion. Brian's trial was set for April, and Torey's was scheduled for late May. Given that both were accusing the other of being primarily responsible, separate trials were not surprising, guys.
No.
While they awaited trial, investigations continued on both sides. Torey's family hired private attorneys rather than relying on a court-appointed defender.
Now, as is standard, all jail calls were recorded, and the defense received copies, okay? Because they say it every time you go to make a call, answer a call. You're always saying it all the time, right? To avoid additional expense, Torey's mother, Shannon, listened to and took notes on the recorded calls between both Brian and his family and Torey and his own family. For a parent, I do think that must have been an incredibly painful task to hear both of them. I mean,
yeah, no two people, guys, and no two families handle crisis the same way. Torey and his family were instructed by their attorney not to discuss the case at all during phone calls.
Yes.
According to reports, Brian and his family did not follow that pattern, whether because they were not given the same instructions or they chose not to adhere to it. Because remember, they had a public defender.
I mean, they're all going to tell you, don't do it. All right. I don't even think a lawyer would encourage you to even, you're making it harder for them. You will make it harder for them, that's for sure. Now, while reviewing the jail calls, Torey's mother, Shannon, said she noticed that Brian's family discussed the case during nearly every conversation with him. She also felt that they were extremely vocal in their love and support for Brian. This perspective comes from Shannon's point of view, though. But it had an impact on her. You know, it caused her to question herself, her family, and how they were navigating the reality of the upcoming trial. And boy, do I wish I could listen to their phone calls too, because I have thoughts. I think that he is still manipulating them in jail. Like, was he bringing it up a lot? Was his parents? Like, what? How was the conversations actually going? You know, and I'm not going to knock anybody. Listen, you are innocent until proven guilty. That's a fact, even though we know what happened. But
Yeah,
But family members, you
yeah,
know, when your loved one's in jail, you haven't been through the trial, you are jumping through so many mental hoops
true.
for innocence in them that it does not surprise me that they were very vocal in their love and support of this, because for this to be all a big misunderstanding would be like a miracle to them. So, I mean, I don't really have a problem with them loving and supporting him.
I don't either.
But I don't know.
Yes, we can. Torey's parents believe that
One of
Brian's
them?
family understood that prosecutors and defense teams would be listening to those recorded calls and that the conversations could help lay the groundwork for Brian's defense. You see, during these calls, Brian and his family reportedly continued placing blame on Torey and portraying Brian as innocent.
I'm curious of where Brian learned, because it's interesting to me that Brian was the first to squeal, the first to point fingers, because they always say the first to talk gets the better end of the stick, right?
Well,
And he's,
you're going to
you know.
learn about Brian. Remember, Brian was the troubled one who had the MySpace page, where you're going to learn a little bit more about Mr. Brian.
Oh, yes. Yes, we
He's
will.
kind of like Laura Owens and maybe wasn't held accountable for stuff.
Yes, I think that's very apparent. Now, the two families handled the situation very differently outside of visiting and speaking with their sons. And in circumstances like this, that difference in approach is entirely normal. Like it's a whole, there's no, I mean, I'm sure there's books written of like what to do if your child's in jail.
I know, but how
but,
there's
like,
emotions, there's all kind of stuff.
and they're all case by case, right? Because every case is different. Every situation is different. And I doubt you're getting a lot of support by a lot of people.
Because Brian's family appeared to compartmentalize what was happening. While they supported their son and worked with his defense team, they continued with their life, going out to dinner, seeing friends. Life in many ways was normal and moved forward for them.
Torey's parents handled it differently. Outside of going to work and caring for their two other children, they were consumed by Torey and his case. Their world narrowed to court dates, legal strategy, and worry. I mean, as that's probably how that would be for anyone. I think the other group likes to live in little Delulu land, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean,
but
we're all human. We may think we know how we would respond in a situation like this, but guys, until we're living it, we truly don't know. Because once something kicks in, you have no idea how the endorphin rush and all of that's going to make you act. You do not know.
That is very true. Now, one detail Shannon shared in her book, she wrote a book. We're going to talk extensively about this book. The Guilty Innocent stood out. After Torey had been in jail for several days, his parents visited him. Shannon noticed that his lips were extremely dry and that he kept licking them. He appeared dehydrated. When she asked him if he was okay, Torey told her he was very thirsty and that he was only given a cup of milk with breakfast and dinner. So,
Shannon questioned a guard about why he was not being given any water. The guard explained to her that Torey had a sink in his cell attached to the toilet and was expected to drink from that. For someone familiar with jail conditions, that may seem standard, but for a sheltered Mormon teenager who had only ever gotten water from a refrigerator or a bottle, it had never occurred to him to use that sink.
oh, wow.
After Shannon raised the concern, the guard explained it directly to Torey so he could access water. He literally, it says he was like, oh, he never thought to even put, I mean, I grew up drinking out of a water hose outside. You put water in your hand and you make a little cup.
I mean,
I
it's
guess
2006. You know, the kid at least drank out of his hand. Like, it's not like we barely had
These were
filters on our...
sheltered Mormon kids.
Were Brita filters even a thing yet? I don't know.
I don't know.
Now, during the time awaiting trial, Torey was placed on suicide watch at one point. I was not able to find similar information regarding Brian.
Brian Draper stood trial first. It was a brief trial lasting just 7 days. I was like, huh? 7 days?
Wow.
7. During proceedings, prosecutors presented photographs of Cassie's lifeless body. The images were so difficult to view that several jurors were visibly emotional and upset. Although numerous photos were entered into evidence, the judge ruled that certain crime scene images would be shown to the jury at a later time. They were not flashing them up on any big monitors.
Which is the more of a standard in the 21st century than before. Now, detectives took the stand and detailed the investigation. The recorded videos Brian and Torey had made were played in court, along with the physical evidence recovered from Black Rock Canyon and elsewhere. The jury was confronted not only with what happened to Cassie, but with the planning and recorded statements that preceded it and the boys' general discussion about killing a large number of people.
We're gonna go to that church over there, and we're gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're
wrong one.
Our friends, but we have to make sacrifices. So, I feel tonight.
Was that your voice, Brian?
It feels really weird. It's apostolic and stuff, and I feel like I want to kill somebody. I know that's not normal, but what the hell? I'm gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt.
I may have mislabeled them. I'm sure we'll hear the other one.
Wow. That was Brian's voice the whole time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. Oh, yeah, mister. I had nothing to do with anything. It was all Torey's idea. Yeah, Brian, you should be running your mouth about everything, bro.
Now, an 18-year-old friend had testified that he had gone with Brian and Torey to a local pawn shop where the knives were purchased. That testimony connected preparation to action.
Oh, yeah, these boys are so fucked. The medical examiner also took the stand and stated that Cassie had been stabbed with different knives. So even more thought in wanting to use the different weapons that was completely unnecessary. However, though, he could not determine whether more than one person had stabbed her. And no medical examiner can do that anyway. So,
The state was unable to get its forensics expert to conclusively state that more than one weapon was used by more than one individual. Because of that, prosecutors relied heavily on the videotapes that the teens had recorded. The next segment became one of the most significant pieces of evidence in the state's case for premeditation. And we're going to hear in this clip, Brian and Torey talk about Cassie and how she is perfect.
Oh.
Hopefully I labeled it right.
What a shitbag.
And you're patient, never getting paid off because I made things home alone. So we got our plan all worked out now. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had to be number one. We have to stick with the plan. And she's perfect, so she's gonna die. Anyway, there's something Kirsten Barnes' house, probably. And we have a new victim now. Her name is Miranda Chicago.
Oh, I'm Brian. I didn't do anything. It was all Torey. I would never, blah, 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 blah. A douche.
Yeah, and talking about how she's perfect, apologizing to the family, and that she's going to be the first one. Yeah.
Now, then the teens recorded another clip later, but we'll play that clip here in a bit as it is important to Torey's trial.
In the clip, Brian then talks about stabbing Cassie. It appears to be him confessing to killing Cassie and to stabbing her in the throat.
I mean, yup, a whole lot of Brian talking. It sure was. Now,
we're going to get Torey talking too.
Well, okay. Now, after the state rested its case, the defense called only one witness, Dr. Bonnell, who testified regarding his opinion about the knives. So why did we even bring this guy? I don't know. Accounts of his testimony described it as largely unremarkable. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yep.
Brian's defense lasted approximately 30 minutes before resting. Like, what? Did they owe this guy a favor or something like that? The lawyer was like, I got one for you. You remember? I got you. I'll throw you some money. Like, what?
After about 5 hours of deliberation on April 17th, 2007, Brian was found guilty. As the verdict was read, Cassie's family openly wept. Brian's parents, faced with the reality of their son's actions and recorded fantasies, were visibly shaken, yet they continued to offer him emotional support.
I mean, they are very religious people and something about forgiveness or whatever.
And they didn't abandon him.
With one conviction secured, the Stoddart family turned their focus to Torey's upcoming trial, hoping for the same outcome. Cassie's grandfather reportedly said, 1 down, 1 to go. And it sucks when they have to put like families through more than one trial, but I very much like how they did do them back to back instead of like years later,
yeah.
I'm surprised, to be quite honest, about that. But I am glad for them, even though they had to go through it twice.
Yeah. For Torey's trial, Judge McDermott allowed Torey to leave the jail for 1 hour each week to meet privately with his attorneys at their office to prepare. His attorneys petitioned the court to allow his parents, Sean and Shannon, as well as his grandmother, to attend those meetings, arguing they could provide valuable assistance in his defense. The prosecution opposed to this request, but the judge did grant it.
I mean, that was definitely probably for appeal reasons. So, anyway, the court reasoned that Torey was still a minor and that the presence of his parents and grandmother could provide guidance he needed. These meetings marked the first time since his arrest that his parents were able to ask him direct questions about what happened that night. I am interested, though, because usually if you're going to talk to your lawyer, and other people that are not lawyers, such as your family, significant other, whomever, are in the room when you're talking with the lawyer, I'm pretty sure that usually negates attorney-client privilege. Like you forfeited that because other people would hear. But I'm guessing since they're minors.
That's what I was reading, is because they were minors.
That's the exception to that. So, and I'm guessing the prosecution was arguing, well, he's being tried as an adult.
Right.
So that's also a fair argument. So,
yeah. Torey's parents believed that he would likely face some prison time as an accomplice. However, they maintained that he did not stab Cassie and said he never told them or anyone else otherwise.
The defense strategy focused on arguing that while Torey had made poor decisions and said disturbing things on tape, he was an aspiring director and screenwriter. They contended that much of what appeared on the recordings was performance, except for his comment about needing to, quote, get their act together, end quote. They framed that statement as the reaction of a teenage boy who had just witnessed something traumatic and was attempting to cover it up to avoid getting into trouble. I'm sorry, but I don't really give shit if your kid wanted to rate movies. No.
And you can't cherry pick what was acting and what was real. I'm sorry. Because guess what? During Torey's trial, the state again played the same video shown in Brian's trial. One portion recorded the day before Cassie's murder. In this clip, you're going to hear about, is killing bad? And it's Torey.
Oh, let's hear him speak.
So taught that things like killing people and other thing is wrong. The only thing that it's wrong about is because it's breaking the law, and the law is only wrong. The law is
Natural
only
selection,
there
dude.
because
Natural selection. That's all I gotta say.
there should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but
Natural
hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
Really? Oh, wow. How philosophical he is. Not only a future screenwriter and director, also philosopher. What a fucking idiot.
His mom talks about that in her book, that he was just trying to have a philosophical debate.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I
'Cause they
wonder
even
which
talk
one's
about
his
whether or
favorite.
not Santa Claus is real and whether or not God's real.
I mean, listen, these are all conversations everybody does have. Well, not everybody, but many people do as they're,
Not when you hear
you
these
know,
other
in the,
things.
well, no, but I mean, like
Yeah.
these, why is this? And, it's by having these conversations over several years and getting life experience, that you pivot and change. But he is no genius. Sorry, Shannon. All right. Your kid's an idiot and he's dumb. Okay. And he would never have been a good screenwriter or director. He wasn't original about anything. Anyway. Anyway. It's probably my turn. Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry. I was distracted thinking about his brilliant philosophical thinkings. I wonder if he started a salon in prison. Anyway, in that clip, Torey and Brian are heard saying there should be no law against killing. It is deeply disturbing, especially in light of what followed. Torey's parents still believe that this is all acting and not real thoughts. Then we have them saying they have to make sacrifices. So this isn't real, you guys. This is all pretend, but they just so happen to murder a girl 15 minutes later. It's fine.
Yeah. Now we're going to hear about their sacrifices.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Ugh.
Time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in a house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour. But
We checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait, and yeah, we're really nervous right now, but we're ready.
we're listening to the greatest rock band
We've
ever,
waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd, before we commit the ultimate
Chad's about to get real mad at me.
We've waited for this for a long time.
a long time.
We'll stay tuned.
Oh, Pink Floyd, also how original. Dirt. I think Pink Floyd's overrated. It's fine. Everybody can
But
yell
for
at me in
them
the
to
chat.
sit there and say they have to make a sacrifice.
What jokers. What jokers.
The
Like-
defense, The defense also planned to call multiple character witnesses, emphasizing that Torey had no prior history of trouble. They spent significant time debating whether Torey should testify so that the jury could see him as a person, a sweet young boy who wanted to be an actor and director.
And a writer.
And a writer,
Mhm.
rather than a person through the lens of those recordings. Where did that accent just come from?
I know.
Llama is banned.
I knew that Savage and Lainey were going to hate me.
I
but-
wasn't gonna say I choose. So here's my life philosophy this year, guys. Do I want to be right or happy? I'm choosing to be happy. Let Llama think what she wants about Pink Floyd. I choose to be happy.
Just saying, at this age, it's so cliche.
And y'all are the ones who
Yeah.
said she was right about everything. So I guess you're eating your words now.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
let's go.
I don't think so. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So let's see. Where am I here? Okay. So Torey's defense team successfully petitioned the court to allow independent DNA testing on the knives, shirts, and gloves recovered from Black Rock Canyon. Honestly, I don't know why they were wasting their money. It was notably that the state had not conducted DNA testing on those items. The prosecution's position was that they had the videotapes, Brian's confession, and his statements implicating Torey, and that they believed that was sufficient. I mean, I know they're
Wait till
about to
you
fucking bitch about
hear.
it.
Wait till
Okay.
you hear what this person says. You are gonna flip a table.
I'm sure. I'm just saying that the crime labs are busy. You only get so many things tested. And I don't know if it was really necessary. Oh boy.
Savage, it's fine. It works with my husband. I choose to be happy, not right. It works with Llama too. Torey's trial began on May 30th, 2007. He entered a plea of not guilty and maintained that he was innocent of killing Cassie, continuing to place responsibility on Brian.
During opening statements, the prosecutor read from the transcript of the video recorded the night Cassie was killed, beginning with Brian Draper's words, quote, "We just killed Cassie. We just left her house." The prosecutor told the jury that the video continued and asserted that Torey had confessed to killing Cassie the night he was arrested.
As discussed earlier on the night of the arrest, Torey invoked his right to an attorney. And then after that private conversation with his father, remember they returned to the interrogation room where the detectives continued speaking to him. And when his father said, "I think we need an attorney," Torey responded, "Yes." The state interpreted that yes as an agreement with the detective's statements rather than a reaffirmation of his request for counsel.
I mean, I know they're not happy about this, but Torey has to say, "We want a lawyer." You have to say the words. You just can't be like, "Yes, I would like that, please." Yes, no, you got to say the words.
Yep.
Are these the founding members of the incel movement? Right. Oh, yikes. Probably. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. In his opening argument, the defense introduced information that had not been emphasized during Brian's trial, for many reasons, I'm sure. They presented evidence of Brian's fascination with the Columbine massacre, including that he had created a website dedicated to the perpetrators. What a fanboy. Ridiculous. They also referenced Brian's involvement in a plan during middle school to shoot up a school. Oh. The defense argued that Brian had a long-standing obsession with violence, murder, and notoriety, and that he wanted to be famous. What? Precious little Bri who would never do anything wrong?
There's also, and I don't think it's in here, Brian even went to like the middle school dance and walked around where kids were sitting on the bleachers pretending to have
Oh, I'm sure.
Uzis and shit. Oh my God. And guess what? The school did nothing about it, really. So the defense also focused on the video clip that the state relied on during opening statements. Prosecutors had referenced a transcript that read, "We killed Cassie." The defense argued that the wording in the actual recording was different. Now, guys, this next video clip is difficult to hear. So we do want to give a trigger warning for this segment. And you're also going to sadly need to pay close attention to this clip.
We just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
Interesting. I didn't hear the we. Actually, it sounded like it was like a videotapes, right? They did little thing. But Brian clearly says, "I killed Cassie" a few
And I
seconds
sat
later.
her, watched her.
Mhm.
Torey never says any of that. I will agree to that. Torey's attorney, not my part.
No, that's okay. Torey's attorney, Aaron Thompson, directed the jury's attention to the exact language used. He emphasized that at the beginning of the clip, Brian says, "just killed Cassie," not "we just killed Cassie." Thompson pointed out that Brian goes on to say he stabbed Cassie in the throat, while Torey does not make a statement claiming he had killed her. Torey can be heard saying he is shaking and later saying they need to, quote, get our act together. But he does not make a direct statement about killing Cassie. I don't think that actually matters. But
the prosecution's
man.
case against Torey closely mirrored the case presented against Brian. There was no additional direct physical evidence tying Torey to the murder beyond the videotapes and Brian's confession and statements implicating him. However, Torey's defense strategy was very different. Unlike Brian's defense, which caught only one witness, Torey's attorney planned to present multiple witnesses to show the jury who Torey was as a person. Their position was that he had lied and made terrible decisions, but that he did not kill Cassie.
Okay. I don't believe that for 1 second. Now, during the state's presentation of its case, Torey's parents received unexpected news. The items sent out for DNA testing, including the knives, shirts, and gloves from Black Rock Canyon, had been reported lost in transit. Now, after numerous phone calls, it was discovered that the DNA lab had mistakenly shipped the package back to itself instead of returning it to the defense, and the evidence was eventually located. Now, I don't know if we go into this later or not, but I'm going to go with it was a whole big nothing burger. I can tell you that. Because otherwise there would have been a good appeal about it. So,
Yeah, wow. What became significant next involved the blood evidence. The state had not originally conducted DNA testing on the items. The defense had successfully, made the motion for testing, and the state was aware of the results. When detectives were called to the stand in Torey's trial, differences began to emerge, particularly in how the blood evidence was described compared to Brian's trial.
When the 911 call was made the day Cassie was found, her aunt told dispatch that Cassie was covered in blood. She'd been stabbed 30 freaking times. She reported blood in multiple areas of the house and described blood spatter throughout the scene, that Cassie had clearly fought back.
Yet during Torey's trial, the state presented a different tone regarding the blood evidence. When the prosecutor asked one of the detectives, "How much blood did you observe during your time in the house?" the detective responded that he noticed small amounts of blood and was surprised by the lack of it.
Doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. So that's weird. Okay. Now, during cross-examination, the detective was pressed on that statement. He continued to downplay the amount of blood and eventually said he was not in charge of processing the crime scene and could not speak in detail about blood spatter or the extent of it. The contrast between the initial 911 description and the testimony at trial raised serious questions. I don't know if it raised any serious questions. All right. This is just them just grasping at all the straws everywhere.
Yep.
What?
Now, over the same weekend, the defense received a call from the prosecution asking them to come to the office to discuss an offer. Given the testimony so far and the fact that Brian had already been found guilty, Torey's parents could only imagine what was coming: a plea deal.
When they arrived, they were told it was not an offer, but a warning. The prosecution said they had discovered additional evidence against Torey and would introduce it if the defense called character witnesses. The evidence involved pornographic material found on the family's home computer under Torey's profile. The profiles on the computer were not password protected. Now, I will say if this did happen, this is fucking bullshit, but it was also the times of 2006.
Oh, wait till you see what they're describing as pornographic.
Oh, I'm sure. Is it Laura Owen's sexy picture next to a horse?
Disrupted the defense strategy. Additionally, initially it was described as simply as pornographic material, something not uncommon for teenage boys. However, it was later revealed that the images involved nude teenage males, 4 to 6 photographs. So the defense attorney believed that if homosexual pornography was introduced, they're Mormons, it could overshadow the character witnesses and influence how jurors perceive Torey. Not for being a murderer, because he liked to look at dicks.
They're not wrong. The defense attorney is absolutely not wrong.
He's
at
not,
all.
but that is just insanity.
It is insane. It is insane. And the same happened with Michael Peterson, the staircase guy, right? Oh my God. They made so much a big fuss about him being bisexual. They couldn't even wrap their fucking heads around it.
I'm like,
but listen, like that would have been like headline news in 2006. It would have been, the defense is not wrong. I mean, honestly, though, this kid is already fucked. All right.
I had a teenage son in 2006 that was gay. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But to not call any character witnesses.
It was dirty of the prosecution to do this. What they didn't need to do this.
Well, and
they had a slam dunk case. All right. They didn't need to be this shitty. Okay. You didn't need to do that. And it's crazy. All right. So he stated, the state characterized the material as a late discovery. The defense later learned that the prosecution had possessed the material for approximately 6 weeks, based on the date it had been copied to a disk. Torey's parents asked their attorneys to file a motion to exclude the evidence due to timing, but the senior attorney declined. Well, that's some bullshit. They were told the material was relevant because it went to character. I don't know how that's relevant to character.
I have to tell you, Aaron Thompson was like the junior attorney, but the older senior, you're going to hear later. He's
old school.
he's a piece of shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's also important to note that both Brian and Torey's families were Mormon, and Pocatello has a significant Mormon population, a factor the defense believed, rightly so, that could affect how such evidence was received by a jury. There's a section missing.
Sorry, I was
okay. There's a section that somehow deleted. So the DNA evidence did come back. Somehow it deleted it. Only evidence found on the items was Brian's. There was none of Torey's DNA on any of the clothes, the gloves, or anything. And when they were asked why the fingernail clippings were not clipped or DNA tested from Cassie, the forensic person said because nothing significant ever comes back from fingernail clippings.
Which is a little crap. That's not.
So,
I don't know if his DNA not being over anything really. I mean, also we're talking about
there.
2006 DNA
but he
testing.
was there.
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
it doesn't matter. Honestly, if I was hearing this trial, it wouldn't matter to me either. I mean, we know way more about DNA. According to forensic files, I mean, DNA has been groundbreaking technology for like 15 years, according to them. So I don't know if it really means a whole lot, but it wouldn't be enough to be like, oh, exonerate him, exonerate. No, not at all. Now, while Brian and Torey were tried separately, when it came time for sentencing, Judge McDermott scheduled their hearings together, assigning each teen his own day in court. During the sentencing phase, both sides called witnesses who testified about the boys' character and why they believed they deserved a second chance. I know you brought this up to me when you were writing this, and I had thought about it after we had talked. And I do think, like, having the sentencing together, they're only putting the family and friends one time, you know? So at that point, it doesn't really matter overall in this case, whether they were sentenced separately or together. But I can see only wanting to put the family and friends through this one time, because I'm sure it was awful to hear.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure it was so sad.
Yeah. Now, during Torey's portion of the hearing, the prosecution now decided to introduce the pornographic images from the family's computer.
Wow.
With the detective acknowledging they could not prove who had downloaded the images. I mean,
That's true.
he had a sister. Still, the state presented them. A forensic psychologist also testified, stating that Brian would pose a medium to moderate threat to society, even if medicated. That was during Brian's portion.
Medium to moderate. I mean, perhaps probably a little bit higher than that, but okay.
Yeah.
Then came victim impact statements. Cassie's grandfather, Paul, addressed the court first. He acknowledged that witnesses had described Torey as a good person, but said something had gone wrong. He told Torey that he made this choice and that he and his family would have to live with it. Cassie's sister spoke directly to Torey's family, saying they had denied his role in her sister's murder. She then addressed Torey, telling him he chose to leave Cassie dead in the house and that there was only one true victim, to which, yes, girl.
Yep.
Yes.
On August 25th, 2007, Judge McDermott asked both teens if they wished to speak before sentencing. Brian read a prepared statement apologizing for not stopping the murder and said he was not worthy of forgiveness, though it was what he desired. Okay, but yet he admits to the police and on tape that he did stab her in the neck. But okay.
Yeah. He gets none from me.
Torey who attempted to read from a prepared statement, was overcome with emotion and began crying, sobbing, gagging, and he was unable to finish.
Oh, there's Buffy. Hi, Buff. We were talking about it earlier. Oh, he did admit to being gay in the Hulu documentary. Oh,
I've heard that too, but
I
haven't watched it yet, so I couldn't include that.
Let's see. The state requested life without parole for both. Judge McDermott sentenced each to 30 years fixed plus an indeterminate life sentence for conspiracy. For first-degree murder, both were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole at the Idaho State Correctional Institution.
Following day after their sentencing, Brian and Torey were transported together to the Idaho State Correctional Institution in Boise. According to the transporting officer, the two sat next to each other and talked during the drive. They reportedly asked if he could just let them go, referring to themselves as just a couple of stupid kids.
Well, they are stupid.
The officer later stated it almost felt like a reunion and that they said they did not hold hard feelings towards one another. He also recalled them remarking that 3 days of their lives had affected the rest of their lives.
Oh, stupid. Now, Torey filed his first appeal in September 2010. Brian filed his in April 2011. Both appeals were denied, which is no surprise. Nice, denied. And their convictions were upheld. Brian later had his conspiracy conviction vacated due to erroneous jury instructions, but his murder conviction remained intact. Interesting.
In 2015, Torey was granted a post-conviction relief hearing. He argued that character witnesses could have changed the outcome of his trial and that his attorneys had chosen not to call them against his parents' wishes.
Bro, that would no way.
In
No
March
way would any of that help.
That request was denied.
Denied.
His appeal to the Idaho Supreme Court in 2017 was rejected.
Rejected. Now, in 2018, Torey filed a federal writ of habeas corpus, arguing that his appeal had been denied on a theory not presented to the jury, and that he was entitled to a new sentencing hearing under the Miller and Montgomery decisions, which held that mandatory life without parole sentences for juveniles are unconstitutional and that youth must be reconsidered. Federal Judge Dale denied the writ in 2019. An appeal followed, and his sentence was upheld in March 2022, which is saying a lot because let me tell you what, there were a bunch of kids that were like on death row and shit, and that all got moved down to life. So they haven't changed his. That's interesting.
The Stoddart family filed a civil lawsuit against the school district in 2010, but it was dismissed on the grounds that the actions of Brian and Torey were not foreseeable. They also filed a civil lawsuit against Brian and Torey's families, though limited information is available about the outcome beyond reports that a settlement was, closed.
Now, during research into this case that we were doing, it emerged that Torey's mother wrote a book, Shannon, The Guilty Innocent, in 2012. In the preface, she recounts sitting in an attorney's office after Torey's arrest with an attorney reportedly suggested that because they had 2 other children, they should consider focusing on them instead of Torey. I mean, it may not have been kind to hear that, but also he was basically saying, like, yeah, your boy's fucked. Okay.
He was saying move on. He was basically saying forget he exists.
Be there if you want to be there, but there's no saving your kid in this scenario. It's just not going to happen.
Well, guess what Shannon does?
Yeah, what does Shannon do?
In her book, she also places some of the responsibility for Cassie's murder on Matt Beckham's parents for not allowing Matt to stay the night and leaving Cassie alone in a house where the power had been going out.
Wow.
Where do we think her son learned it?
The balls.
She further questions why Cassie's mother did not drive to check on her when calls went unanswered on that Saturday. But just so y'all know, Cassie's mom was away at a casino.
So
she's blaming other people.
Wow. For what your son and his friend did, who recorded it a bunch. Oh, yeah, that's true. I know it really fired her up. Now, Shannon also shares observations about Brian's family, including comments about their finances and parenting decisions. She recounts an incident where Brian brought over a zombie movie and describes reacting strongly against having horror films in her home. According to her account, she confronted Torey about it, and her husband intervened as she had Torey cowering in the corner over a movie.
Oh, he had to hold her down. She was that controlling. The aftermath of Cassie's murder extended far beyond the courtroom. It affected families, communities, and continues to raise difficult questions about responsibility, accountability, and how people process unimaginable tragedy.
Yeah. We're not sharing these details to shame Shannon entirely.
Not entirely.
It was her home, and she had every right to decide what was allowed under her roof. Some might describe her as a very protective or hands-on parent, and that itself is not a crime. But maybe pointing out some other people's, don't throw stones when you live in glass houses, lady.
I mean, she even chastises Matt and Cassie, and she's the one who brought it out, about the condom, and they had obviously had sex because there was a condom in the toilet. I mean, she made me mad, and I wish I wouldn't have bought her book because I put money in her fucking pocket.
Yeah, she's very delusional as well. I mean, that's just,
Now,
you're going to feel bad for your kid, but your son's not innocent in anything. Anything. And maybe this makes her feel better if she wants to believe my son never actually stabbed her. Fine. All right. Fine. You want to say he never stabbed her? Fine. But your son sat there and planned it for days, videotaped himself for days, was in her house.
And didn't freak out and call and tell the police and break down and say, oh my God, this happened.
Right?
I mean,
it's not even like this was a random thing. This was one of the most premeditated cases I think we have covered together. And you're trying to be like, well, my little boy.
I mean, there's more on the tapes if people want to go to YouTube and listen. They talked about the next kids they were going to kill when they got away with this.
Yeah.
I tried, Amy, but I needed it on Kindle and I needed it fast. Or Buffy, sorry. What her book does provide is an insight into what her family went through when something like this happened, because a crime of this magnitude does not affect only the person charged. It does affect the parents, the siblings, the grandparents, aunts, uncles, everyone. She just happens to be delusional and can't accept the fact that her son is not her perfect little baby.
I mean, there have been numerous parents or family members who have written books about someone in their family being a killer, whether it's their kids with mass killing or whatever. People of the defendants have written books, but you know what you don't do though, and why you don't get sympathy, Shannon, is because you're focusing all the energy in the wrong spot because you don't want to face reality, and that is your son is stupid and a horrible person who took this beautiful girl's entire future away. So I don't care.
From a psychological standpoint, I do think reading her book and having some friends that one that's still Mormon and others that were raised Mormon, she was raised, her only goal in life was to be a good mom and a good wife. If you read her book, she literally didn't get out of bed for days.
Oh, I'm sure. I wouldn't either.
I think it put her into some kind of spiraling spin that she's still not out of because she cannot accept the fact, at least Brian's parents in that clip we heard earlier, they were like, what did we miss? How did this happen? She never says that.
No, I mean, well, and like sometimes parents are to blame, sometimes they're not. I mean, I would do the same thing, to be quite honest, but after everything has happened and come out, to say some of these things is quite frankly shameful. All right, and inappropriate, and she knows better. You want people to understand your story, to relate. Is that why you wrote the book? Because you're not doing, because I am a very big proponent of talking about defendants and their families and people not talking shit about their family members, because a lot of people do. But you just don't go saying some of the things she did, period. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, you know, as we said, it's also clear that Shannon and Sean did everything they believed they could for Torey. They sought out strong legal representation. They arranged for him to receive therapy while he was in jail waiting trial. And those are actions of parents who were trying to navigate something unthinkable. And sometimes that's all you can do.
That's all you can
You know,
do, yeah.
Not all bad kids come because they had bad parents. Like, at least my opinion is that sometimes they're just horrible people. You know, and
I will say Shannon did express sorrow that Cassie was gone, and she said she felt for Cassie's family. However, there is still little acknowledgement in her writing about her son's role.
Right? Like to be like, oh, you let a teenage girl be in a house by herself with her boyfriend. Ma'am, your son killed her. Are you kidding me? These are
And your
not
son
the
was
same.
present. He could have stopped Brian. I mean, he didn't get injured. Yeah, he was part of what happened that night. I mean, we heard him in his own words. So I am sorry, lady, you cannot discount that.
No, you know, and again, Cassie was the one who lost her life. She was just 16 years old. She was house sitting, doing what was asked of her, being responsible and level-headed, unlike two other jokers we've been talking about. You know, and this is where the story begins, and this is where it always has to return, is to Cassie. Oh, look at the baby picture.
There have been a few updates over the years. In 2024, it was reported that Matt chooses to live a private life and has no desire to speak to the media. Matt, that is understandable. You lived through something no teenager or person should ever have to. Your girlfriend was murdered by people you both knew, and that you let into the house, and they killed her after you left. I mean, the kind of guilt is unimaginable. I can't imagine. And I just hope he has found peace and is living a full and happy life.
Yeah. I mean, nobody could have prepared or predicted that. Nobody.
No, they couldn't have. But the guilt that, I mean, look how, you know, he wouldn't even, you know, leave her alone on the couch. You know, he was a caring guy.
Now, in 2024, Cassie's brother, Andrew, her younger brother that she was close with, spoke with the Associated Press. He shared that he has learned how to carry what happened to Cassie, though it remains a significant part of who he is. He said every September is still incredibly hard, and that he struggles through that month. Some days are good, some days are not. He said he loves Cassie and that what happened will always be in the back of their minds, but they focus on keeping their family strong rather than dwelling only on the darkness. Because, I mean, grief is always around. There's no such thing as closure.
Cassie's mother, Anna, sadly passed away in April 2022 after a long health battle. Her sister has chosen to live a private life, staying completely out of the spotlight and focusing on peace.
Well, at least Anna gets to be with her daughter again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. Now, Shannon left her position at the Idaho State Journal in 2008. She later worked as a teacher and pursued an associate's degree in behavioral science before
still wrote a
shifting to
book.
social work. She now lives privately in Idaho with her husband. Okay. All right. Well, okay.
So Carrie and Pam Draper's marriage did not survive the aftermath of the crime. They separated and began new chapters of their lives. Carrie continued working in his field. He remains close with his daughter, Tiffany. Pam now lives in Ohio. She also maintains a close relationship with her daughter, Tiffany, and keeps her life largely private. Tiffany lives in Boise, teaches yoga, writes courses for yoga instructors and influencers, and got married in 2025.
Oh. Now, Torey remains incarcerated at the Idaho Maximum Security Facility in Boise. Look at his stupid face. He has not given any direct media interviews, but did appear in the 2013 documentary Lost for Life. Look at you, Mr. Making Good Decisions.
Yeah. Now, Brian Draper is also incarcerated at the same facility, though they are reportedly mostly kept separate. Brian has spoken to the media and continues to place all of the blame on Torey.
Bro.
In interviews, he even has said he did not watch horror movies or own them before meeting Torey, despite there being photographs showing collections of horror posters in his room.
He's such a liar that lies.
2024, he spoke about wanting the opportunity to live in a society again. In other portions of that interview, he discussed burglaries they committed in the weeks before the murder and his relationship with Torey. When asked what he would tell his younger self, he reflected on choices and direction in life, but never said anything about telling himself not to kill Cassie. And we have a small clip.
Okay. Oh, great.
Doing what you're doing. Like, you're being a weirdo and you're falling into a trap, and get out of it now. Step out of your bubble. Meet new people. Like that would be number one, is just meet new people. Like,
is this
we
him
close
now?
ourselves off to so much that we miss out on so much opportunity. And so I had so many times that I could have hung out with new friends, and I could have tried new activities, and I didn't, because I was so comfortable being miserable, and I was so comfortable in my own little dark room, and the only way out of that is to open the door and just step out and go try new things. And so I was terrified of rejection. So there was a girl I had a crush on, I'm not going to say her name, and instead of going and talking to her, I was so mad at myself because I didn't have the courage to do that I stewed on it, and I got mad, and I got angry, and I got envious of everybody else around me because they had girlfriends. Why can't I have a girlfriend? Well, I didn't have a girlfriend because I was too afraid to go out there and take chances.
And you're
talk
the
to
worst.
girls, and you might get rejected. So what? That's life, buddy. So I wish I could just go back and tell myself, dude, live your life, step out of your comfort zone, and take some chances.
Not don't kill Cassie, but stop being a weirdo. It's also important to point out here that one of the motives mentioned during Brian's trial was that he had an unrequited crush on Cassie Stoddart, and that was why he selected her and her boyfriend. Our next few questions focused on Torey.
You can stop it
as
now.
he'd been moved to the same correctional facility as...
Sorry.
What channel is that? It's EW. I can't remember the name of that channel. I subscribe to all of theirs, but
I6A, yeah.
Yeah. So Cassie's murder was a brutal crime committed by people she believed were friends. Her death did not only take her life, it altered Matt's life, her family's life. Oh, that's a very lovely headstone.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. Her classmates' lives. It also permanently changed the course of Brian and Torey's lives and the lives of their family.
Her case is often linked to the movie Scream because the boys referenced it and wore masks when murdering Cassie. But a film does not force someone to commit murder. Ideas may be borrowed, but the decision to act belongs solely to the person who makes the decision.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is ongoing debate about juvenile sentencing, particularly life without parole for 16-year-olds. And it is a complicated legal and moral decision that continues across the country. I don't have a problem with this one. I don't think that either. I especially do not think Brian is able to be rehabilitated. Did you just not hear him talk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Explore with us. Thank you, Amos. Oh, you're my savior.
What remains simple is this. Cassie was 16. She was house sitting. She trusted people she thought were her friends. She should have gone home after that weekend. Said she was killed. And that is the part that's never going to change.
Yeah.
And that is it.
All right. Well, I know you have a lot of thoughts.
I've said a lot of them. First off, I hope Andrew, all of Cassie's family, and Matt are living a good life because I can't imagine what it is like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on and finding a way to be happy doesn't mean they've forgotten Cassie or the hell they went through. And I think people need to remember that.
It was an interesting case, Buffy. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, Buffy, I'm still going down rabbit holes. Okay, still going down rabbit holes. Now, Brian and Torey, I have a real problem with Brian. Okay, I have tried hard not to feel so critical about him.
Why? I am. It's fine.
But
I'll sleep well tonight.
Everything I've read or seen, he has not really owned what he did, and that bothers me.
No,
he doesn't. Yeah, I'm glad that he's in prison because if he got out, somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Torey, I've gone back and forth on, and today I'm on the day that he deserves exactly what he fucking got.
Mm.
And his mother's book, I will say, has, I would say, maybe a whole chapter of good stuff. But I'm sorry, lady, your son was there when a young girl was killed, and he did nothing to try to stop it. He should have gotten injured trying to protect her.
Right, because wasn't Torey the one with the car? He could have just chose not to drive Brian to the house, Shannon.
He could have ran out and left while Cassie was doing it even.
Numerous
and got the police.
Choices could have been made. Numerous. Again, this isn't just some like random, whoa, here's a murder in 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yeah, he is guilty. And I did say to his mom, I'm sorry, from one boy mom to another, your son is guilty as shit. And you are disrespecting Cassie, her memory, and everybody loved her by not accepting that fact.
Right? I mean, she can still like support him and shit if she wants
can.
to. That's fine. But like, dude,
Yeah.
whoa.
I mean, in her book, she says that you see something totally different in the videos than others. You see your son just going along with someone, but that they were just acting. And to her, I say, excuse me, how can you say he was just acting when they in fact did what they said they were going to do?
Exactly. Like literally to a T. Ma'am.
Exactly. And I've had mixed feelings for years about young people being put in prison. The one thing I need to say, it is a complex issue. Part of me thinks they should be given an opportunity after a really long time, 30, 40 years, to get out, only if they've contributed to society. They've done well in jail, continued their education. They've tried to do something. They can maybe get out when they're 90. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Oh,
I'm okay with that.
I mean, it is complex. Some cases I feel very strongly about.
And
Others,
I need a bubble bath and Buffy. You owe me one because this was brutal.
Yeah. The sad part is not only Cassie, but Brian and Torey. There's tons of Brian and Toreys running around everywhere. All right. They're as much as they want to think they're fucking special, they're not.
They weren't.
They're just copies of copies and copies. And I think that is where we really need to be focusing on how do we get this demographic that falls into this. I mean, listen, all teens are going to be edgy a little bit. That's not what I'm talking about here. All right. Especially now in 2025, as we've had years of data. All right.
Brian, on the school thing, he lied and said it was the other kid who wanted to do the school shooting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so the other kid got kicked out of school. He didn't get anything.
Well, I'm not talking about punishment or anything like that.
Nobody looked at the signs that he had problems.
Of course they didn't. Nobody actually wants to fix problems, Terry. We're just all going to sit around and talk about it instead of actually doing something.
You're right. I forgot.
But no, I mean, there is a serious problem with teen boys, early adolescent boys. They are not getting the guidance they need in some way, shape, or form. I will talk ad nauseum about this issue that's been going on for quite a while. And it isn't just, mental health issues. It's not just, guns. It's none of that. All right. We have given them literally no guidance, no support, no healthy outlets to what they go through during this stage in life. We're just like, you're a boy, you're fine.
And no accountability for when they do try to go outside of boundaries.
Now, some of them are just shit bags, and they will always just be shit bags. I do think that there's a few people that I do have a lot of empathy for, and it is more mental health issues than anything. But most of them, I mean, I hate them all, and I especially hate these guys. They are so guilty as shit. They're both exactly where they need to go. I don't care if you think, well, Torey didn't stab any bull fucking shit. Yes, he did.
They both.
Yes, he did. They both did.
Because what did Brian do? Put the other knife in his pocket and grab the other one?
Right. Brian's story of, Torey did all this, but I just stabbed him in the legs.
And in the throat. And I cut her throat.
Well, he didn't say that part till later, I thought.
No, that was on the video.
Like on the video, but he told the cops.
Right.
That's what he did. And I believe that that's what Torey did. And Brian, because that's what a liar does. There has to be some truth in your lie. And he just switched the places of the two. But they're
both guilty.
It's awful. And for what? For what? They didn't make no movie. They didn't write no screenplay. Literally nothing.
That's why I hate that they were allowed to appear in that documentary, Truth Lies, because they got to be on screen. And I don't think that should have been allowed because you kind of gave them what they wanted. But
I'm going to probably watch it over this weekend because I am curious about it.
I've got 2 documentaries of that, and I've got another book I've ordered. I bought it from the resale bookshop.
I mean, I do think that there are good things people can do from prison. So maybe I'll hear something in that documentary from who's in it? Torey, right? Is that who was in it?
We just heard Brian talk, and that was a year ago. So Brian's still, yeah.
So we'll see, but that's all I got. So let's go ahead and wrap up tonight's show, you guys. Before we go, if you like what you heard tonight, be sure to follow us on all of our socials and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is free. And it's a lot of fun over here on the YouTubes. Or if you're listening to our pod, please download and give us a rating. All of that helps us tremendously in getting our small channel out there.
Yes. And guys, our brand new merch is dropping this Sunday, March 1st. We've
Yep.
added some really cool, all new items that I cannot wait for you to see. If you love representing the show and being part of this community, you're definitely going to want to go check it out. You can find our merch store at tcwtmedia.com. And don't forget, if you're a channel member at the Cozy Crew or Ride or Die level or higher, you get those sweet merch discounts with your membership.
Yes. And it's great quality stuff. Like it really is. It's been
Yes.
very impressive. Now, next week on True Crime and Wine Time, I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but we will be on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern for the month of March. That's right. You heard it. Tuesday and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, because we are beginning our Frozen Fear, the Butcher Baker of Alaska multi-part series. I'm not even going to go into what I want to say about it because I'm busy writing like 8 episodes. But we are going to be diving deep, like very, very, very deep into infamous serial killer Robert Hansen, his endless number of victims who we refuse to be forgotten, and how all of it could have been stopped numerous times. You guys are, oh man, true crime friends. If you think you know this whole story, I bet you don't, because I thought I did. And then I was like, what?
I thought I did. And then you opened a rabbit hole. And I need you to stop opening so many rabbit holes. I'm going to get lost down one of these rabbit holes.
Yeah. The state of Alaska has a lot of blood on their hands from this. And we are here to shine a light on all of it. So warning, there will be lots of rants and cursey words. I literally write the things just angry. Because it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable, everything that goes down. So starting this coming Tuesday, that's right, just in a few days, you don't have to wait all week, we will be here at 8 p.m. with part 1 of Frozen in Fear, the Butcher Baker of Alaska. So I am so excited to talk about this.
And guys, I'm happy to tell you there is some new merch that drops on Sunday that literally has the wording "buckle up." Because let me tell you, you're going to need to buckle up. March is going to be insanity.
It is. It is. So you're going to get lots more of us True Crime and Wine Time listeners. But is there anything you would like to say before we go, or a sign off, or what?
I just want everyone to please be safe. Watch out. If you see something, say something. Do not be Brian or Torey. Okay? Be better. And for moms, from one mom to another, kids disappoint us. Kids can screw their whole freaking lives up. You can love them and support them, but that does not mean you shouldn't make them take accountability.
Right? That's actually being a good parent.
That's called being a parent.
Sorry. All right, everyone, stay safe. And until next time, next Tuesday, 8 p.m., go forth and be amazing. So, bye, guys.